All right, so welcome to Marketing Food Online podcast. And in this episode, we're actually going to get into a couple of questions we had from some of our home-based cottage food operator subscribers from our YouTube channel. And then, of course, we'll record this and get this up on YouTube, right? You're going to do this up on YouTube? Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and put this up on YouTube as well. This podcast will be available down below this video in the description section. We'll have a handful of outlets for everyone to check out. We've got over a dozen outlets, actually, that you can find our podcasts on. You can click those and listen to us on the go. So the two questions that we had from our subscribers, sorry about that, guys, was what insurance do I need for a home food business? What insurance do I need for a home food business? Which is actually an interesting question because, believe it or not, there is a lot of the cottage food laws in states that do not require a business license, don't even require you to be incorporated, don't even require insurance. Mainly because a lot of these are not going to be inspected by any state agency. Cottage food operations are normally have a set of rules, minimal amount of kind of, not to say enforcement, but a minimal amount of rules too. But they don't necessarily require a lot of these things. That's also one of the reasons why I always recommend a lot of our videos are dedicated to starting home-based food businesses from home, of course, because of the cost, because the costs are so small. I can attest that trying to open a retail bakery, as my wife and I did for a few years, it cost a lot of our money and, of course, a lot of our time, and it was a very intensive business. We learned a lot from it, don't get me wrong. We learned a tremendous amount, and now we've transitioned to an e-commerce business. But the insurance factor, it's not something that's required, which is interesting. What insurance do I need for a home-based food business? So I personally would say, even though most of the cities and counties and states, the states create the cottage food laws, and the cities and counties actually have ordinances, rules, and regulations on the lower level, then the municipalities will create their own rules as well. But they don't require insurance or incorporation. I would say definitely get yourself an LLC and get yourself some basic food business insurance. Why? Of course, I'm not an insurance salesman or any of that sort, of course, but I'm very familiar with this information because, of course, I have a food business myself, and we do have an insurance policy for that food business. But you need to create some type of protection for yourself. An LLC is a limited liability corporation filing, so that entity status eliminates a lot, actually all of the requirements, or eliminates all of the responsibility for the personal lawsuits. If somebody were to get sick, they could sue the business, the LLC, but they don't go after you personally, okay? When it comes to insurance, that's just another blanket of protection to help you out as well. So the type of basic insurance policy would be you get public liability, product liability, and what they call also business interruption insurance. These are three types of insurance. I'm not going to go into too much detail about them because, again, I'm not an insurance salesman myself. But these are the types of insurance that you could potentially look into to get for your home-based food business. It would give you a lot of protection from a legal standpoint, of course. And these types of policies are not very expensive. Annually, they're about $300, $400, $500 a year, depending upon how the actual policy is written and the types of coverages that you have. The other question that we had was Cottage Food Law Insurance. Is there a certain type of insurance? Believe it or not, yes. Some insurance companies can actually create a cottage food insurance policy dedicated solely for the purpose of your home-based food business, which is fantastic because a lot of times these types of policies are considerably cheaper than a traditional, brick and mortar retail bakery where you've got a lot of people coming in and out of the bakery. You have employees. You have a lot of other responsibilities. Those insurance policies for those types of food businesses are much, much higher, okay? Now, of course, there's a lot of stipulations, a lot of different avenues and features to different policies, depending upon what you're making, how much are you making a year. But in general, having a basic coverage policy is a really good layer of protection. So yes, even though a lot of states and cities and counties, all the way down to the local level, don't require it, it's definitely something you should definitely invest in, okay? Now, the other question that we had was in regards to what type of insurance policies, within the insurance policy itself, what does it cover, what would you need? Depending on the type of food, some policies based on bakeries, some policies that are written based on food trucks, some policies based on restaurants, cafes, and such. So the types of foods that you make too, the types of risks involved as well, believe it or not, will also determine the type of actual payment and the amount that you have as well. So this was a couple of really great questions from our subscribers. I appreciate you guys asking. All in all, what insurance do I need for a home-based food business? You really don't technically need to have one. And don't rely too much also solely upon your homeowner's policy. I actually had a really interesting question about 2 or 3 months ago from one of our subscribers. that said they checked with their home insurance policy and found out it doesn't cover what they're doing, which it actually doesn't. And traditionally, if you're operating some type of business, which by the way, you need to check with your homeowners association as well, your HOA can also dictate whether or not they allow you to do this. Some homeowners associations don't want people running or operating businesses from their houses because it's just not something that they allow. So double check with them too. Some people have gotten into some serious troubles as well with their homeowners association because they've operated food businesses from home when it's not allowed. I'm familiar with homeowners associations like anyone else. Thank goodness, quite a few years ago, we never actually operated it from the other house that we were in before. But the homeowners association didn't allow anybody to operate any type of food business there. So we had to end up renting like a commercial kitchen to do it. Make sure that you check with them. And then from that point on, then get yourself a quote on the type of insurance that you would need. Okay? So thank you guys for that question. It was a great question. If you have any more questions about insurances or food-based business insurance, let us know down in the description, the comment section, of course. And we'll see you guys on our next podcast. Then remember to check us out on the podcast. We have over 250, how many episodes do we have now? About 250, is it? Yeah, we have over 250 episodes and over 50,000 downloads. So thank you guys, and we'll check it out on the next podcast. Take care.